Right, hello then people. It's been about a month, so that's cool, isn't it? Welcome to my official prediction for Usyk versus Fury 2. This breakdown is going to be fucking jumbled and very messy. I'm running off no sleep for the past day or so, whatever, you know what I mean? But I'm going to try and break this down as much as possible. Obviously, I broke down the original fight. The original fight was quite a big deal for me. I was very excited for it. I covered it from when it was kind of like first officially announced for the December date up until it actually happened. Gave like my final thoughts, gave my reaction, all that nice fucking stuff. Great shit. I love doing so much because it's fucking so brilliant. But like, this fight's interesting. The way Fury's been over fight week. Fury's he's lost it in my opinion. His head's gone. His head's gone a little bit. I must admit. They had a 11-minute face-off. Fury cracked, in my opinion. Usyk just not reacting, cracked him. It was like that one kid in the playground who just can't get bullied by the bully. They just won't show the bully a reaction, and it winds the bully up. And that's what you kind of saw with Fury, right? He kind of exploded. I just don't think he can deal. Like he can't deal with it. Like his mindset. If he can't get into someone's head and he can't have his way with them and do what he wants, and they're so stubborn, I think he cracks. I think Usyk's shown that twice. He's apparently Fury's weighed in about 181 pounds, I believe. Usyk's pretty much the same. I'm not sure I believe that. He looks light to me. He doesn't look very heavy. But if he has weighed in at 181, which it says he has, I'm going to go with the observation that he's actually going to. This is going to be a more similar fight to the one I predicted the first time round. Obviously, I predicted Usyk win the first time round, but I predicted Fury would be the aggressor on the front foot, trying to use his size and weight to mitigate what Usyk does, pretty much. But this fight, I've got this. This is interesting. If I had to go back to the first fight, what I would say for both men is that Fury needed to be a bit more assertive, a bit more aggressive. Like I said, I think he chose the wrong approach by boxing off the back foot. I think that allowed Usyk to fight it at the pace he wanted to fight at, and that's all wrong. If you're going to allow Usyk to dictate the pace, he's going to drown you, and that's exactly what happened. If you get complacent, he's going to overtake, and he got complacent in round 9, Fury did, after having a few good rounds. He was getting worn down a bit. He got caught. What happened. Yeah. For Usyk, I have a couple of different things. Usyk's game plan and the way he fought that fight, I don't think that was a great version of Usyk. If I think about a great version of Usyk, I'm thinking like Joshua 1 Usyk. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was a fucking good version of Usyk. But if I look at the Fury Usyk, I think that's a good version of Usyk. That's not a fucking bad fighter. Obviously not. It's a very, very good fighter, but I just don't think that's where he can be at, even at this stage of his career. If I had to give Usyk a few little props, like a few things he can do, I think he can. Obviously, he's very good with his feints anyway, but I think one feint he can kind of implement into this fight is foot feints. You were seeing in the mid rounds, he would kind of walk in on straight lines and Fury would kind of catch him with like body uppercuts coming in. I think if you implement some foot feints, you can kind of get Fury to bait on that and maybe capitalise off of that. Another one, which is going to have two little parts to it, is keeping his head a bit more off the centre line, which he's very good at anyway. But I feel like in that fight, he kind of was using that to mitigate the jab, but he couldn't quite mitigate the uppercuts in the middle rounds. But what I do have to say about this is, maybe I watched a video by Hatman Boxing. He made a very good point. Switch up the angles, which I feel like is something Usyk's very good at. But obviously, if you compare him to Lomachenko, because they're quite similar, Lomachenko got the better angles on Usyk, but Usyk got very good angles. Instead of attacking Fury in a straight line and getting caught on the way in, he can kind of change the angle, and that will kind of mitigate the uppercut. He did a very good job. Fury, where was Fury's jab in that first fight? It wasn't landing. It wasn't doing anything. So I feel like the jab's sorted. It's just kind of getting rid of those uppercuts and those more damaging shots. But here's the way I think this is going to go. With Fury weighing in a lot heavier. I think he is going to try and. Like, I'm going off the basis that he will try and bully Usyk. If he doesn't try and bully Usyk, he fights the fight he fought last time. It will go pretty much similar, maybe a stoppage. But this time round, I feel like Fury's gonna get behind his jab. He's gonna be on the front foot. I feel like, I said this the first time around, I feel like his feet, especially now after 2 hard camps and still drinking in between camps and stuff like that, I just don't feel like his body can do this anymore. I really, really don't. And I feel like his feet are going to be too slow. I don't feel like he's going to be able to close that distance to get to Usyk using his feet to use his size and weight on him. And another point, this kind of goes into what I said about the jab. Fury can't, his feet aren't quick enough. But if Usyk was able to mitigate his jab so easy in the first fight, how am I supposed to believe Fury can use that jab to close the distance to get to Usyk in this fight? I just don't. So I don't feel like he's going to be able to close that distance to get to Usyk. And I feel like he's going to try and attack the body of Usyk. I feel like that's going to open up some opportunities in this fight for Usyk to go to the head of Fury. And I feel like in between those moments where Fury isn't going to the body and Usyk isn't able to attack his head, he will be targeting the body, walking Fury onto body shots, slowly wearing Fury down after those first 6 rounds. And I feel like after that point, where Fury's been coming forward so much in that fight, and that's a lot. Being on your back foot under relenting pressure is hard, but if you're really trying to get to someone and you can't get to them, that's just as hard maybe. Like if you just can't get to them, and they're also doing everything they can to kind of lead you onto shots, wearing you down, like walking into body shots. Do you know what I mean? Like that's a tough fucking thing to get past. So I feel like the first 6 rounds of this are going to go. Fury's going to try and get out there. He's going to try and close the distance using his feet, and he's going to try and do it using a jab. Usyk's going to mitigate the jab like he does with his lead hand, like he did in the first fight. I don't feel like his feet are going to be quick enough. I feel like Usyk's going to be getting counters off of Fury's body shots, and I feel like he's going to be walking Fury onto body shots. So I feel like Fury's going to be the aggressor, Usyk's going to be on the back foot. I feel like after these first 6 rounds, Fury's going to work so hard to try and get to Usyk that not only is he wearing himself out naturally just working so hard, he's also walking onto body shots of Usyk. I feel like he's going to be a very stationary target in those last 6 rounds, more than he was in the first fight. Because what you saw in the first fight, he did get a bit lazy and he did get caught very badly, but he was still moving in those last couple of rounds, and it was just enough. It was just enough left. But with the way I think this fight's going to go, I feel like he's going to have nothing left in those last couple of rounds, and I feel like Usyk's going to stop him. I really do feel like that's just written. That's why Usyk showed up in the Hitman outfit, all that kind of stuff, right? The Agent 47 outfit. I feel like he's coming here to proper fucking put a stamp on it, end it for good. There's no, you can't debate with that. No man's ever stopped Fury, and I feel like Fury's recovery it's got to slow down at some point. Do you know what I mean? He can't recover from everything. And he has recovered from some shit. But that first fight and those camps, because he's trained his ass off. I don't feel like his body can do it. So I'm going to go Usyk. A stoppage. I don't know what round. Maybe rounds... I don't want to say round 9, because that's a bit obvious, right? Round 10? Round 10 maybe, round 10 stoppage from Usyk. I don't mind the odds of that. I don't mind the odds. That's just what I think is going to happen. It could easily go to a decision. Fury is a tough fucker, but I also feel like, another Fury's chin. Fury's chin is not the same. It is just not the same after those Wilder fights. He's been dropped before the Wilder fights, but if you look at the shot Ngannou caught him with, it bounced off Fury's shoulder and then dinked the top of his head. It wasn't even like it dinked the top of his head. It was stopped in its tracks, and it still knocked him down. I'm not too sure about his chin at this stage, but hopefully. Actually, you know what? Let me get into the undercard a little bit. Moses Atama, Dempsey McKean. I haven't talked about Moses Atama yet. Big step up for him. Dempsey McKean, former world-ranked heavyweight. I assume he's no longer ranked due to inactivity. His last fight was actually a bit of a title eliminator against Filip Hrgovic, which I thought, other than being a fucking dreadful fight, he did alright in until getting stopped in the 12th round, but it was an awful fight. So that's a big step up for Moses Atama. I think he'll get it done. He has weighed in a bit heavier, about £10 heavier, which is weird, but he is a growing lad, do you know what I mean? So I feel like I'll just be fine. I feel like he's going to have too much for him. He ain't no Hergovic, he ain't predictable, he's got angles, he's got quick hands, he's got combinations, he's got it all. Another fight I want to kind of get into is Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen. I am smelling an upset from him. These aren't official, but this isn't an official pick, but I smell an upset. I don't know why. Dave Allen's quite a good talent, and he's not quite a good talent, but he's naturally talented. I should say, he's naturally talented. There's a bit of talent there, and he's never been hard working enough. And he seems really locked in for this fight and really dialed in, really focused, like he wants to do something. And I feel like if he is, and he's got enough left in him, I feel like he can at least give Johnny Fisher a fucking tough night. Because I don't rate Johnny Fisher. Do you know what I mean? Dave Allen's never been stopped. Johnny Fisher has got not the best accuracy punch placement in my opinion. And his defense is leaky. So I could smell an upset coming there. What's another fight on the undercard? Is it Isaac Lowe, Lee McGregor? That's a good fight. That's a very good fight. That could be a little war, that. Isaac, low IQ, Lee McGregor. Yeah, that's a good fight. No Dennis McCann and, what's his name on? No Dennis McCann failed Peter McGrail. No Dennis McCann, Peter McGrail. That's a shame. That was a good fight. I was really looking forward to that. That was probably the fight I was looking forward to, probably the most, outside of Madrimov, Boachuk. But we got Boachuk versus Ismail Davis. Fair play to Davis, stepping in against Josh Kelly, and now stepping in against Boachuk. Did alright against Josh Kelly. I feel like if he put it on Josh Kelly a bit earlier, he could have won that. It's a decent card. It's not the best Saudi card. It's probably the worst one, but it's pretty good. Still, all things considered. But yeah, that's my official thoughts and prediction. I guess. I've got to fucking rush this video out tomorrow. I've got to get to sleep in a minute, and I'm gonna fucking get up early and rush this video out because it's gonna be fight day. I need to stop putting predictions out on fight day. They do all right though. They don't do like bad, but for what this channel is. But yeah, no, thanks for at least it's not gonna be as bad as Joshua Dubois. That fucking video came out as the card was on, but still. Anyway, I'm gonna get over it. Thank you for watching. If you have watched it to this point, you haven't, but thank you if you have. Don't even bother subscribing. Goodbye.